GM, everybody, Monday morning, let's go straight into Bitcoin. And we're seeing a nice pump this morning in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is pushing back towards the $69,000 level, which is encouraging to see. And look, it could be that I'm a little bit off with my path here in terms of the consolidation between 69 and 65,000. It could be actually that we need to adjust this slightly higher. Maybe we do actually come above this descending trend line and then actually come back below it a final time, trying to just really shake out the last of the sort of leverage longs here before looking to push higher. So obviously this sort of scenario here, it would come up, people would start to get aggressive saying, right, off to the moon we go, LFG, all of this, and then the price would come down a final time and it's like, oh, it's over, it's another fake out, we're not pushing higher. But it's kind of that final consolidation before we then do see this much greater move happen and push to new all-time highs, which I still think will happen around about sort of the probably the middle of November but before the end of November. I do think Bitcoin will see new all-time highs, and obviously we'll have certainty from the election. Then it still looks like Trump is favorite to win. So I would expect, certainly if Trump was to be confirmed as the next president, that we would see the market definitely rally probably to new all-time highs before the end of November. If it's Kamala, then potentially this path needs some adjustment and we actually see a sell-off, potentially coming back down as low as 60,000. I would have thought maybe we hit this trend line support down here. So we kind of see a move sort of down here to around about 60K. And then we look to sort of chop a bit, consolidate a bit, maybe fake like we're going a bit lower before eventually going higher. I do think in either situation, no matter what the election result, it's going to be more money printing and there's going to be more liquidity that's going to come in to the financial markets, and ultimately Bitcoin is going to be a benefactor of that. So even though in the short term it would be a scare and it would probably take out a lot of people that are on highly leveraged positions, I do think that would be a final shakeout before a move higher. So right now things are looking fine for Bitcoin. Like I say, could be that we do push up a little bit higher, or it could be that we just continue to consolidate just below this trend line and just frustrate people for another week or two. Obviously, we've got the month end coming up in a couple of days' time, so we'll see what the monthly looks like when we get there. If we just flip onto a weekly, we can see here that we did have sort of a nice tail on the last week's candle. So you came down, bull stepped in. This long wick here obviously is a sign of buying pressure coming into the market. So we've seen a couple of those. We saw this one back at the start of October. We've seen this long wick here forming a nice hammer on the weekly. And look, I mean, if Bitcoin does come above 69,500 and close there, it's very, very difficult to see Bitcoin not potentially running a bit higher this week and coming as high as potentially 72,000. I would have thought that we start to probably find the next resistance between 71 and 72,000, probably where these candle body closes are. But like I say, likely to be further consolidation just until we have confirmation of the election results. And if we just quickly flip over to the monthly, monthly's looking really strong. We can see here that we've built this consolidation above the previous cycle's highest monthly closing price, around about 61,500. So this is looking like a very bullish consolidation. These long wicks here are looking like bullish reaccumulation, and I am very bullish on Bitcoin going into the final quarter. And I just wanted to also touch upon Bitcoin dominance as well, because we've seen Bitcoin dominance continue to rise and rally. And I do think at some point we're likely to come to a top for Bitcoin dominance. We can see that we're coming in now to the 618 fib retracement from pretty much the high of Bitcoin dominance in the last bull run to the low. So that is a significant area, and that's coming in just above 60%. So I do think at some point we will actually see Bitcoin dominance start to reverse. And at this stage, it's likely that the altcoins will really start to run, notably Ethereum and Solana. They probably lead the way for the rest of the altcoin sector. And I did just want to touch upon Solana as well. So just looking at Solana on the daily here, as we spoke about in the last video, Solana's starting to look strong. It's starting to show relative strength out of the top 3 majors. We obviously had this 618 fib retracement providing as resistance within this greater consolidation. And now we've broke above that. We've got ourselves up to the 786. And it looks to me like Solana probably wants to push on a bit higher. So next targets, we've got this, well, we've got a couple of downsloping trend lines here. So we've got one around about 183, and the next one's around about 184. Obviously, 184 was our last high that we've obviously based our last swing high off. So I would actually expect us to run probably up to 194, especially if Bitcoin can get above 69,000 and push into the 70s. I think that move will almost definitely happen. And then really we're looking for Solana to consolidate, and as soon as Bitcoin breaks all-time highs, I do expect Solana will run up to its highs pretty quickly. And if we just kind of step back, we can see Solana's all-time high currently coming in just shy of $265 there. So look, I think, you know, Solana's looking really healthy here, and I would expect Solana likely to break out from its highs of the year when Bitcoin does, and then probably it shows strength against Bitcoin and makes a run on its Bitcoin ratio. I mean, from here to Solana's all-time high is a 50% move still, and obviously Bitcoin is much further closer to its all-time high. I mean, what's this? It's likely to be just a sort of 5 to 10% move. Yeah, 5-6%. So yeah, I do think Solana will outperform likely when Bitcoin breaks out, and this probably coincides with Bitcoin dominance also coming down. And the other important chart to look at is the dollar as well. So the US dollar, we were saying for the last few days that we are expecting to see some resistance here. We had the daily Tom DeMark 9 reversal. We've come into a major level around the 618. So I do feel like I'm expecting the dollar to probably consolidate a bit and then start to come back down. And that likely coincides with the next leg up on Bitcoin. So just to summarize, things are looking great. I am super, super bullish right now. Everything is playing out as we're expecting it to for now. So hopefully that will continue. And I'm going to leave it there. Have a great day, everybody. And I will talk to you again tomorrow. GM.